It's Aloha Friday, Johnny.
We do business on Maui, but I'm in Eugene and you're in Hong Kong. Make it make sense.
They're like, who are these guys? What?
I'm telling you, that's the beauty of a modern world, man, is you really, really can leverage through technology and having some good friends and people on the ground. It really does allow us to kind of move about. And dude, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm moving about way more than I ever have in my entire life,
I
man.
don't know this, Johnny.
No, dude. Well, it's like the generation ahead of me is needing help, and needing you to show up. So I'm finding myself doing that. I was just reflecting the last 3 weeks. I hit my trifecta, man. I was California, Arizona, Oregon. Like those are my peeps. That's where I go when I'm on the mainland. And I'm excited, man. I had an aunt that needed me, had my mother-in-law needed some celebration. My boy's in a hula halau, so I'm going to show up for that. And it's just amazing. I'm grateful to my wife for this little travel benefit because, I'm such a cheapo in my head that I probably wouldn't because I'd make the excuse that it's the money, but you take that excuse away from me and I'm like, all right, I'm going. And it's a stressful way to travel sometimes, dude. I mean, last night, the second leg from SFO to Eugene, I literally, United has a really good process for standby that I absolutely love. But I literally was waiting they had us till the very, very end. And then later on, I found out it's because people were literally running from late connecting flights and it was chaos for them. But I got on, and here I am up in Eugene, about to go watch the boy do some hula. I was like, when did you start
Unreal.
taking up hula? Yeah. So it's been super fun, man.
It's fascinating, right, Johnny? Because we do hear that as a fear, a worry, a concern from
Mm-hmm.
people who reach out to us to talk about Maui property, living on Maui, moving to Maui, retiring with Maui. It's far. My grandkids are 5 hours away. The best hospitals are 5 hours away. The sports teams are 5 hours away. I mean, you name it. There's a bunch of things on the mainland that just don't exist on Maui, but family being one of the biggest parts of that. And now you have family in Oregon, California, Arizona. You have friends in other places as well along the coast, and you're living that lifestyle. This is the lifestyle that a lot of people want, dream of, think about. You're living it. And meanwhile, you snuck back and got into surf this week. Still got in the
Did a final
ocean.
walkthrough,
You're
got
still
a
running a
close.
business. Got a closing. I mean, you can make
Well,
work.
dude,
It's possible.
it just takes planning. And like the way that I actually travel is with very little planning. Like I'm literally at the drop of the hat. Aunt Marilyn needs help. Okay, I'm going to be there in 3 days. Coming up here to my son, I really didn't have that on my radar, but the wife had to work. So she, and I think my boy, he wants the Kanaka to show up. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm going there. People just want you to show up. That's what you're doing, right? Can make more money, but can you make more time?
The biggest question out there.
Mm-hmm.
What do you
So you can
value?
do it.
How does it play out?
You can do it.
I mean, we've
And
proven it. We're not here to tell people, like, just throw things out there. This is how you can do it. This is what you can do. I mean, you and I are living it, right? Like I'm on the other side of the world making a life work with a business based in Hawaii, helping clients that live across the country. And we haven't skipped a beat. If anything, we've gotten better. Processes, technology, everything, we've improved. I think with you is like, you live in Hawaii. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you're too far. You can't make it work." But you are absolutely involved in Auntie's life in a difficult time. You're absolutely involved with celebrations and birthdays for your family. You're absolutely involved with bringing your son to college, coming for special events, hanging out with them. I mean, it hasn't really slowed you down at all.
my biggest decision yesterday as I'm planning my day is can I pack a surf in before I do everything that I need to do today? And I skipped it. So I was super responsible, John. But I really wanted to I knew there was an open house at that Kam Sands 7410 that we
Deal of
did
the
the DO
week.
dub on. Dude, I knew, like, so for me, we put the opportunity in front of one of our friends, right? Somebody from the show here. And I knew that I was going to have to get out of town, but I knew that they were going to have open houses. So I wanted to get in there merely because I knew that if our guy's going to do something, it's just so much more powerful to be able to say, we were in there. I had the meta glasses on. He's seen absolutely everything. He's ready to go. Because I don't know if we're going to be competing. And maybe that gives a little bit more credence in a similar offer situation is, well, have you seen it yet? Our guys did. right? So these are the strategies that go in our heads as to how we can integrate what we need to do in our lives, but also still show up for potential clients or make deals happen, man. And I just like doing deals and it makes me feel good that I'm doing that. So that's what I did. I went over there, I hit the open house, I had some food to drop off at mom's place before I went to the airport, see mom for a little bit, hit the airport. You and I are texting the whole time here. I'm texting with other potential clients and, I'm sending you over the videos and you're dropping them into the WhatsApp. And that's just how we roll, man. It started to get a little feeling of like 2022, man. Like I'm driving with the knee and I'm texting. No, I'm kidding. I'm a super safe driver. I'm getting a Tesla, I promise. Full safe driving
everything
while
at
I do my grind.
everything at once. And it just goes to show you a potential offer is way more than just a dollar amount. Like that is a
It
starting point.
is.
The
That's
dollar
right.
amount is the starting point, and all these other little nuances are part of what sets it apart. And having that potential video and walkthrough and understanding of the property, eyes on it from your perspective and also the client's perspective, I mean, you're easily a stronger offer in the eyes of people who are scared of flaky clientele, customers. I
Well,
mean,
it's how we write offers. It's how we write offers too, right, Danny? I mean, we technically have X amount of days to provide proof of funds in a cash offer, or X amount of days to get a pre-approval letter in their hands. But what do? If we can, and the clients are willing, I'm producing that with the offer. I only have one time to make a big impact, and that's the first time that I present everything there. So, yeah, we overthink a lot of things here, but we do it for your credit, and it's because of years of trial and error and doing a bunch of deals, and that's it. That's what we're bringing to you.
you pick up
And
a few things
still
along the way.
still celebrating that closing, man. I mean, in the world of what they tell you about like ideal clients to work with, I mean, the Lord really blessed us. Friendly and collaborative, highly intelligent, did due diligence beyond Maui, right? Searched other markets in the country that they were even considering. I mean, literally did everything, funnel their whole thing, and then just reached out to us when they said, "Hey, we've done our due diligence. We think you're going to be the best guide for us. What do we do next?" And I literally like was reflecting through my photos and I remember the screenshot of that initial text. I want to say, what was that, Marchish, something like that?
Yeah.
And that's it. So that's what I love about the show right now is that in my fantasy, there's a bunch of people that are using us for homework. And I feel that that's when they're going to be able to show up because if you just watch us, you can learn everything that you need to do. That's why you're here at YouTube, right? YouTube's the university of the world. Literally anything you want to learn, you can learn right now on YouTube. And hopefully that's why you're watching because for the most part, we're pretty boring if you don't like Maui real estate. There's nothing else much here. I wear nice shirts occasionally, but I mean, that's it. You can watch my
Travel
hair
tips and trips, this
disappear.
and that.
Yeah. Watch me get older, different glasses. Yeah. That's
Well,
the
it's
show.
it's interesting when you think about, I mean, a lot of people just think, "Oh, I found my property on Zillow." And that
Right.
is this whole equation. And the reality is there is a lot of due diligence on both sides, right? In between like the client and the agent. I mean, in this case, the closing this week, I mean, they have done a lot of research on this topic. They've done the research financially with their CPA. They've done the research into areas and locations, property types. Then in Hawaii, they've done the research on Build 9 about rentability, all these sorts of things. I mean, all that happened before they even found the property, right? And then we went to work when they decided they wanted to work with us. We started looking at things, sending some options. We narrowed down the list and, write the offer, get into contract, get accepted. And then there's all kinds of things that happen in that process. So it's like, it's heavy on the client in the beginning because they're doing all the due diligence and the research and trying to figure out if they actually want to do this thing. And then it's sort of combo plate in the middle. And then towards the back half, most of the weight is on our shoulders as the advisors, kind of ensuring everything's running
Great.
smoothly and basically just telling you, okay, here's where we're at. Here's what needs to be done today. Review this document, sign here when you're ready. And next day is, okay, review these documents, sign here when you're ready. Next day, talk to your property manager, figure out who you want to work with, sign the contract and move forward. Like it's basically, it becomes pretty easy towards the end, but it is a combined effort. And that's why the friendly and collaborative part is so essential in this process?
I'm probably the weakest in the finding the right property for you stage, just because, I mean, I really don't know what the right property looks like to you, and quite frankly, you don't either, because you're giving me little snippets of what it is, but it's not until we walk into it, and I've seen so many people reserve the right to change their minds and do. And so this thing that realtors find the right property for me and then execute is like, I mean, is that how you would go out and buy a car? It's like, okay, I need this guy here to tell me what car I want. No, you pretty much go in saying, yeah, I want it to do this. I want it to look like that. I want this car. And then you go and execute, right? So I'm here to provide different opportunities and different options that I see that I feel that would work if like the exact what you just told me isn't around. But I mean, I really need your help in the finding it stage. I need you to kind of teach me along the way by showing me, no, this is really what I'm looking for. This is it. This is something I love. I mean, that's just the brass tacks there, because if not, you're asking for me to inject my opinions about what you want to buy. And that's never the right way to do it.
We're pretty inaccurate, right? I mean, there's a lot of times where I'm like, this one feels like a great fit for this particular client. And then you send it to them and they're like, and you're like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
it checks like 6 of the 7 boxes. How do you have such a
Right.
strong reaction? But there is. And then you send them another one that you're like, this one probably doesn't work. It only checks one of the boxes, but what do you think? And then they're like, really like this one.
See, because we're still in this transactional land, right? Where it's like, okay, so they're looking for a 3 bedroom bath and they want a little bit of a view, but they have this aspiration where it's like, okay, the view needs to be me out on the lanai and I'm there with my husband. We got cocktails in front of us and it's this, and I get this feeling when I'm there. That's really what they're looking for. And that's why you can't really see the emotional connection until they actually see it for themselves. And I've seen it time and time again. I mean, I just think back about our clients that bought the compound in Laniopoko. And it's like when I hit that spot and it had like literally 5 little separate spaces for each one of the kids, like I just knew it. I was like, oh my goodness. And then it just came through a whole bunch of stuff that we needed to bring them to an understanding, because it was just the craziest off grid, full solar array with a backup generator, wells, just everything self sufficient. They didn't have an understanding of all that. So there's this fear. And then later on, we talked to them, much later on now, and it's like, oh, we don't even think about that stuff, man. This thing's excellent. It just runs on its own. We're amazing. Our friends are blown away. The fact that we've got this compound that's just running off of Maui. You know what I mean? So good stuff.
And there it is. But the reality of right now, Johnny, is there's
Mm.
so much conflict and contradiction in the market, in the voices, and what people are telling you, and how you feel about what's happening. I mean, we got videos going out on YouTube saying it's an absolute bloodbath on Maui and everybody's struggling. And then you got crazy deals like the deal of the week we put out yesterday. That's $600,000 less than it was a couple of years ago. And yet it feels weird for people to even consider it.
I've never been a prolific investor. I'll just make that statement. I've always been able to help other people make wealth. It's been a difficult struggle for me. I'll just be really upfront with it. But I'm a curious person, right? So I remember I wanted to get involved in trading stocks. And I really, really got turned on to this concept called Elliott waves. And the thing that really caught my attention was a statement that they made that the stock market is basically just a historical map of human emotions swaying between greed and fear, greed and fear. And we can kind of watch that happening right now in the Maui market, right? I mean, you have this spike of greed, and now we have this trough of fear. And the trough of fear is so fascinating because the greed makes everybody rush in. Everybody had FOMO. Everybody was literally throwing their money at you saying, dude, I'll take it for 20% higher than that price right now. And I don't care about any protections. I don't care about the condition. I don't care about the plumbing, the electricity. I just want to take my money. Go get it for me, John. And now I'm presenting opportunities that are literally half what people were rushing into there, and people are pumping the brakes saying, John, I don't know if that's a good investment. And I'm like, okay. What else can I say? I mean, but to your point, like we were talking about before, there are a lot of people out there with $1 million that they're sitting on right now, ready to buy on Maui. And we're watching how quickly opportunities go that are great opportunities. And I want to say 7410, dude, was a absolute no brainer. If there was one thing that I could pick on too, it's Kam Sands, and it had the small lanai. It's a two-bedroom. The lanai was more than adequate. It was on a corner. It was private. It was amazing. And then for me, furniture seemed a little bit dated. That's it. Looked like they went and shopped at the warehouse, bought a lot of the stuff from the different hotels. If I'm nitpicking, that's it. But fully remodeled, great rectangular tile that went all the way out to the lanai, a legitimate ocean view. I had West Maui mountain views, Mauna Kahalavai. I had the windmill views, and then I had literally legitimate ocean views. And it never looks great from the Medivh classes, but while you're sitting there, you were like, oh, no, that's an actual view there. And what happened today? Poof,
Poof, we'll
gonzo.
see it in a few minutes on the hot list. But I want to go back to that point just in case they missed it because I think it's really
Mm,
important. There are so many people in this country that have $1 million ready to buy on Maui at the right opportunity. And we've been talking about it kind of over and over with the hot list. Like, at what price does it makes total sense to people that they just go? And we started seeing that right in the Pili Villas to where once it got down to about 700, it starts to go. Once Pacific Shores gets down to about 550, it goes. Once Maui Vista gets to about 425, 400, it goes. Kihei Villages, 450, 500, it goes. All of these properties have that kind of threshold where people who are familiar or kind of aware of Maui, which there's a lot of people, right? People who come to Maui come over and over and over and over, tend to be fairly familiar with the place over time.
mhm.
And those sorts of people are within the top three, worst case 5% of the country in terms of socioeconomic status. You have to be wealthy in order to come to Maui. So these are the sorts of people that are also sitting on the sideline or sitting around the circle, kind of watching everything going on, waiting. And so that's the reality. There are a lot of people who can get involved in Maui, who want to get involved in Maui, who've been involved with Maui, who might want to get re-involved with Maui. So as things start to get perceived as more comfortable for people, whether that's price or whether that's legality with Bill 9 or these sorts of things, as things get more comfortable, then that demand and that excitement, those amount of people that have been sitting around the circle are all going to start throwing their name into the center.
Here's something that I bet does not happen today, Danny. I bet everybody that has a two-bedroom listing at Kam Sands that's above 800,000, I 100% guarantee you nobody's going to drop their price to that. They're going to say, good riddance to that bad inventory. Now we got a shot at getting $1 million again so that we can get the money that we overpaid in 2022 and get ourselves out of here.
I
That's
mean,
what they're thinking,
how
man.
dare they list it at
That's it.
799? Do they not understand they're
They,
making us look bad? We're here at
they're
$1 million.
hurting They're hurting our investment. They are. They're bringing down the neighborhood. You can just hear the discussion.
Because
If we all just stuck to our guns. Yeah.
you hit me with an email from another unit, also in the 4 building on the ground floor, 1 bedroom, also 799. So you had 1 bedroom on the ground floor or 2 bedroom on the top floor, same exact price. And so we're seeing this continuation of people listing properties very aspirationally, very pie in the sky, and it makes you wonder, like, what is the motivation for listing right now? We have agents who are telling clientele, we've met with some of them, that says it's not a good time to sell right now. And some of those agents may or may not have 30 listings right now. And so you start to get into what is really going on here, and how can you have $1 million 2 bedroom and a 799 2 bedroom in the same complex? How can you list a unit that's worse off than a unit that we recently sold in Lahaina Shores, worse floor, it's lower, worse views, lesser remodel, but you're going to list it $40,000 more than what we listed for. So there's always this push from an agent perspective. I mean, agents brag and boast about 2 things. I see it in the social media. It is tiring. Shout out our coach Jess, who's teaching us all about this. But it is very tiring to see. The only 2 things that you see from agents is I sold it for the highest price and I sold it the fastest. That is the 2 things that agents always kind of push everyone else and try to show off, like, I'm the best because I did this. I sold it for the most amount of money in the fastest time. And the reality on Maui is that doesn't seem to be always the driving force, Johnny. And they almost seem to compete with each other. If you want it done fast on Maui, then price has to come down. If you don't care about the time, then put whatever price on there you want. And we see 700 days on market. on some of these listings. It's not
That's the
super
vast
uncommon.
majority of condo listings right now, dude. At least 90%, in my opinion. That's why these ones like Kam Sands go. That's the actual market price right now for Kam Sands in a 2-bedroom within the interior, to me, is now $799. Maybe there's some competition. We won't know until this thing sells, right? But that
Because
basically
that
is the
tells
new
you there's
number
value at
at
a certain
800,000.
number, because
That's right.
there's people that have money that are willing to buy, but at $1 million, nobody's knocking on your door. Nobody's calling. I mean, nobody's calling Valley Isle right now for 560,000 for a 1 bedroom. But if someone came
Nope.
out at 499, 475, 449, there would be calls. There absolutely would be calls. And so that's what we run into over and over. That's what we're seeing in this market is a lot of aspirational sellers.
And we've already talked about this, Danny. Selling's supposed to be transactional, and yet sellers are being aspirational and they can't get out of their own way. Just do the transaction, take your money, whatever's left.
Let me just go ahead and show people, Johnny,
Let's do it.
what my email inbox has looked like this week. So, little screenshot for you. This is my email inbox this week. Massive price improvement, price to sell, seller motivated, hot new price. I mean, this is just one little snippet of what my email inbox looks like this week. And it's over and over and over and over and over and over. Price reduction, price improvement, price improvement. This, that, the other thing, more commission. I mean, there's a constant, but the reality is most of them are still not priced at a point where people are actually moving on it.
Well, Jenny, that was the case in the 1-bedroom bath at the 7 building. They were willing to pay me 3%. They advertised that all day long. The other guys didn't advertise anything. They didn't even bring up my commission, right? They just hit with price and it moved. So you tell me which marketing strategy works. So if you ever hear me say, hey, let's go ahead and offer a higher price commission to try to get your money, just know it's not going to work.
That just
At
seems like a
least
conflict of
where we're
interest.
at.
Let's talk about that.
It
I mean,
does. It
I'm
does.
going
It
to
is.
bribe other agents with more money in order to hopes that they will sell my property and not another one. I mean, that just seems like a huge conflict of interest in the
Well, it's
process.
insulting to think that 3% would move me, dude. If you want to take 4, 5%, okay, now you're titillating me a little bit. But really, you're willing to pay me the regular old commission just for this to move your product? No.
It's fascinating to look at. We literally just like to throw this show at you 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, to bring you behind the scenes and what we see, what we talk about, what we think about, what we're imagining. And at the end of the day, if you want some help in this process on either side, selling or buying, you can book a call, jump on our calendars. We can talk about the story further. And in the meantime, this is education. It's your time, your pace, your depth, whatever you want from it. Feel free to engage, drop comments. We like to interact with people and hear what they're about, what they're thinking about.
That's the most fascinating real estate market in the entire world. I swear to God. It really, really is. I am just fascinated on a daily basis. Ever since I jumped back in, man, it has just been an absolute zipper of a ride, dude. Incredible.
So why don't we go ahead and transition to the hot list, Johnny, talking about what's active, pending, sold.
Wow.
We're at Yale Parkside, and 449 was not compelling, and it hasn't been because you're starting to see things in the low fours, in the high threes, especially for upstairs units. So this is 415, 830 square feet. I mean, the other part that you don't really see online is there's a lot of challenges here with financing. Had a few deals canceled.
Yes. Maui Lani Terrace is on the central Maui, bro, all over again. Drifting lower prices because local people cannot get decent financing. You got to come up with 25+% down. So attractive from a potential first-time home buyer basis, but first-time home buyers don't have a lot of money. Can't do FHA loans here. What is it? Well, how much? Because you've been seeing loans get turned down with what, 10% down?
Yeah, 10% is turned down, 5%, 3%, VA, like 0% VA also. It's crazy.
And this is what the county is telling us that local people need to focus on for their new financing. That's what's going to help us all. So we don't have to build. Awesome. Just can't even make the ones that make sense for local people work, but we're going to expand the options to include even higher fees and more challenges. Don't get me started. But hey, that's what the show's all about. That's what the show's all about. It's my It's my
It's
time
the
to
real
complain.
feelings.
It is.
You can disagree with us, and we welcome that, and we'd love to hear your comments. And we're putting out opinion based on what we see and what we hear from a professional standpoint. And kind of the sad part of it doesn't feel like people see both sides of the spectrum. There's one thing to create opportunities, maybe bring down the market, flood it with condo options, but if people can't get financing, none of it makes sense.
And please don't come up with another government solution that's gonna take 6 months to
Johnny,
close. Nobody wants
that is
that.
the one way I've seen Parkside close is with the $600,000 county grant, up to $600,000 county grant, because then your loan is lower, your down payment, all that stuff. So it has worked in that situation.
Mhm.
So
There's always a
949, I
government
mean, talking about
solution.
aspiration,
Yes,
949,
Waipuilani.
multiple price reductions. We're on the ground floor, down to 778 now after 77 days. So they're trying to, I mean, they're showing some motivation. They're trying to find what it's worth. It obviously wasn't worth the 949, 778 now.
Still not a deal to me. Waipuilani's always been funky in the world of TVRs. There is a 30-day minimum stay here. So it makes well for the snowbirds, Canadians maybe that want to come over and have a place that they're going to stay for longer periods of time in terms of budget, etc. But yeah, that's the Scoopy there.
And it is apartment zoned. So, I mean, that's also a factor here. Apartment zoned. I mean,
It
we
sure
have
is.
Kam Sands, Johnny, at 799. And Kam Sand is the Grand Dame. I mean, it is one of the most well-known condo complexes, rentability, all of those things in the South Side. So you're competing here at that price point. I mean, I
Yep.
don't think people see apples to apples. They see this as an orange. It is a completely
Well,
different product.
the one, glaring positive for White Puilani is if I walk out my door there, I eventually walk into the ocean, right? So that location is definitely the play that they're trying to subscribe value to. But White Puilani is funky, dude. I mean, you don't got a lanai really. You got a door there. And that rentability. So yeah, it's definitely an outlier. I always kind of thought of Waipuilani as value, and now it's trying to compete with the Luana Kais and that sort of thing, Maui Sunsets, and I'm not seeing it.
You don't see as much value because it doesn't have all the amenities that the other complexes have nearby. It doesn't
That's
feel like
right.
the value play anymore.
Oh, even as a vacation rental, it doesn't make much sense, right? So, man, brand new product right here, guys. 835. These things were bringing 1,000,001 prior to the fires all day long. This guy is brand new, and they did some upgrades as well. If I remember, maybe this isn't the one. I think it is.
But
Look at that.
98 down to 835. I mean, this is just kind of case in point of where our market's at, right, Johnny? A couple years ago, I mean, this whole neighborhood was just going bananas in terms of the competition. I mean, it was new construction and then people were selling them off and it just kept going higher, 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 higher. I mean, some of the single family residential condos in there above $2 million. And now 63 days, multiple price reductions, and they got nothing.
Well, dude, I mean, this thing probably bought 1.1 in the peak, and they were selling for the 4 and change range, brand new, right? I mean, workforce housing people probably stole them for that much. So, yeah,
There you go. And across the street,
there it is, man. Hohonanea, 885. So third floor, so no downstairs yard, but I believe you still get your one-car garage, and that is what makes Hohonanea so unique. I'll tell you what, though, man, right next door, Opukea, which I think was probably the more luxurious of the two options. If you're willing to deal with some construction on site, Hohonanea's got it going on as well. 760, man, for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath there. And those people are already losing some money. They are motivated.
that
And
seems like a
yet,
value
right in
play.
the heart of Lahaina, and I'm not seeing that stuff move. You know what I mean? So always been residential.
I
Anyway,
was told, Johnny, that Lahaina was going to be bought up after the fire.
yeah, the
And
land
I
grab.
haven't
Yeah,
seen that at all
I have not either. I mean,
by
we'll see
anyone.
what
I mean,
happens when we'll see what happens when the lawsuit starts paying out, because word on the street was if you were involved in the lawsuit, you couldn't put your land up for sale until that was done. So we'll see if that urban legend comes to fruition. But yeah, man, not seeing
yeah,
it
in
yet.
terms of selling, but in terms of buying, I mean, there's plenty of opportunities in Lahaina that are not just getting scooped up by a big fund or
Truth. Truth.
conglomerate or any of that. We're not seeing it.
Nope. BlackRock has not entered the conversation.
it
Man. So just new price for Maui Vista. We've
Maui
adjusted.
Vistas are coming to the market. Here you go, down into that 450 range. I think they're still a little high. I think you're closer to low
Mm-hmm.
400s. All right, we'll come
Agreed.
out at 459.9 because we want to be a little bit above the last sale because that's what we
Right.
always do around here.
Yep.
So 1-1, it's in the back building on the third floor.
Nice remodel
We'll
though in 2023. It did some stuff. I
Here's what'll
see
be fun,
AC there.
Johnny. The next one is also Maui Vista, but
Let's
$30,000
see it.
more.
Let's go. Well, because I got that view right there, Danny.
I mean, a couple doors down, a little bit nicer floors, but yeah, here you go. $30,000 difference right next to each other. Ooh, I kind of like what they did with the washer there. Look at that.
Oh,
Built
little
that
Euro
in.
style. Yeah.
That's
Little
kind of
Euro
cool.
action there.
Good use of space. Kind of a nice looking unit. I mean, a little bit nicer remodel.
I get
Not
why they're
much of
asking a little
view.
more. Yeah, they put more money into it, that's for sure. Look at how skinny that little lanai is there. Huh?
You're always going to ask for more when you put more into it.
Yep.
We'll see if they get it.
Markets like this, they just send to sell sooner. Wailuku Heights keeps coming out. That's a big boy, man. 5,000 feet. My
Five
goodness.
beds, 5,000 square feet, full
Did
Milky
they get
Way
rid of the
action.
garage? Did they get rid of the garage or was that still a garage?
Let's look through this.
I mean, on a price per square foot basis, I get it. Wow.
Look at that.
Took the Kam Sands.
Luxurious in 96.
Yes.
But yeah, got the hot tub, got the outdoor, not a lot of yard space. I mean, just feels like a lot of house, like empty rooms in here. What, is that a secondary kitchen?
Mm-hmm.
All
Downstairs,
right.
little Hana. Yep. Separate
Ohana
access.
no Hana. Yeah, looks like you got no garage.
No, that's it right there, I think, huh? Or no, do they
You got
enclose that? Or no, is
double
that the garage up
access.
top?
Double
Wowza, that's kind of
access. You got a
cool.
lower level and an upper level. Okay,
So
okay.
that's why your Nohana's got private access there. See how sneaky we are when we build here in Hawaii?
There you go. But Wailuku Heights, one of the more popular neighborhoods in all of Maui, especially for those sorts of views, a little bit cooler weather, and you're close to town.
That's like local people who've made it. You know what I'm saying? That Wailuku Country Estates,
That's it.
Pacific
Johnny,
Shores.
make sense of this one for me.
Eh, I'm seeing two beds sell for that much in Pacific Shores. Not seeing
That's
a
what I'm
great
saying.
remodel. Maybe a little slight peak of an ocean view. Yeah.
Bit dated
I'm
in
gonna try it.
conditions,
Let's try it at
style.
this price.
Yeah,
I get the strategy, right? Make sure we're not gonna leave any money on the table, but I'd be telling them, okay, we'll start here, but man, if I don't get any calls the first week, we have to go here. I'll try your way for a little bit, maybe.
yeah. It doesn't make sense when you see the two bedrooms at 549, and we got one bedrooms for the same price. This one, Johnny,
Nope.
I sent it to you yesterday. I think
I
it's a deal.
remember.
1.675 for 3 bedrooms, 2,000 square feet in the heart of Wailea with views, great condition. I mean, what more do you want
Super
if
quiet,
this is what you're looking for?
kind of a quiet location tucked around like where that Marriott is. You go in the back there. I mean, this is what one of our most prolific lenders has his office. I remember there's multiple real estate offices there. But yeah, a very unique opportunity, starting to rival like Keala Wailea or Keali,
Yep.
which was the one that's right by Monkey Pod, because those are
Kiala
starting to push
Wailea.
like Keala Wailea. That's the one.
Yep.
So this is a good opportunity for somebody looking for an alternative to a house in Wailea. Also maybe a bit of a value when you're compared to like the Nahaleo Mokenas or places like that. Yeah. It's
And a
big square
garage.
footage, garage, 3 bedroom, 3 bath. Boom. Beautiful
I mean,
second home, lock and leave right there.
people don't even know this place exists. It's so
It's tucked
quiet, so
away.
tucked in. Doesn't have the greatest amenities. Not a bad pool, but it's not the most impressive for a Wailea property.
Yeah,
But yeah,
$3,100, man, for fees. But I get it. Bigger square footage, 3 bedroom. So
but at 1.675, Johnny, I mean, that feels like real value.
with it,
Paradise Ridge, 1,000,001, Johnny,
bro.
went pending.
I'm telling you,
So
man,
there's
these
the
have
price.
come
I mean,
down a
these were
bit.
pushing 1.5, 1.6 for a long time,
That's what I
holding
was
out
gonna
there.
say.
Now come down to 1,000,001, someone will buy it.
This is the time to pick up new home sales. It's at the beginning and at the end, every single time. We're in closeout phase right here, guys. Whoa, Via K, finally.
600,000, 20 days, it moves.
But that other one for $599, I think, is still around. So this one's got to be in better shape or another better location or something. I mean,
All
it's
on one
fairly
level.
original to me. Yeah. Oh,
Wailea
What we got here?
3
Wailea.
million,
There you
Gonzo.
go. Yep.
I mean, this was a
Take my money.
really
Take my
nice looking
money.
house.
Look at that. Double
Just all the
islands,
woodwork, the
open, Fleetwood
furnishings, wide
doors.
open, gone.
Yep. Somebody had
Kam
$3 billion
Sands, here's the
just
one,
sitting
Johnny.
around. Let's see it.
799,
4 days on
two
the market.
bed. We
Poof.
dropped it as a deal of the
That
week.
one. That was a
I
no-brainer.
mean, no brainer. Someone got a great
No.
deal there.
Yep. We'll see. We'll see
Kula
if it
action.
closes. Whoa, that is so coola.
Very
51,
Kula.
1951. Where's the jacarandas? Yeah, that's a
I mean, look
gorgeous
at that
property.
view. Oh, that's so pretty. Beautiful inside, beautiful out. Someone
Yep.
did well there. And last but not least, Milo Court.
My breaching the 875. Another of the duplex models in Kealani, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes,
There it is,
sir.
guys.
So start off
875.
910, slowly down, 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 down. That's what we're seeing in the market. It is an adventure between greed and fear, and greed and fear, greed and fear. We're here 3 days a week. Come hang out with us. Subscribe, share it with someone, leave some comments. If you want to see anything specific, drop it and let us know. Until next time, Aloha Friday.
Hui ho.